Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are in a dirty job. I just want to say thanks to all my subscribers. I appreciate it. Today we are doing a fuel pump and fuel filter change in a BMW M5 e60 with the V10. And let me tell you, like any job on these cars, it's a little bit involved, a little bit more in depth than most cars. So to get started, you have to pull the back seat out. To do that, you apply pressure on the front edge of the seat, shove it back towards the back seat, and it'll unhook out of these clips. That's the easy part. The next part is you got to take these 10mm bolts, or nuts rather, off of these 4 studs. Lift your cover, take your rubber grommets off onto your wiring connection, which is just a slip post like the old BMW connections, so that stuff isn't too bad. And then of course we have these lovely locking rings. So I just used a big flathead screwdriver. They loosen and tighten normal direction. So the trouble is the fuel pump is on this side, but the lines all run across the tank over to the other side, which is actually where your fuel filter is located. And it's funny because I actually did the fuel filter last year and I didn't bother to video it because I didn't think it'd be worthwhile. But what you have is 4 lines coming across from your pump. And again, you have the same trap hatch, same rubber grommet. Also, I forgot to mention, when you take the back seats out, don't lift them really high because you got to unplug your heated seat cords. These cars have rear heated seats, so don't just pull the seat up or you'll probably rip the wires. So we've got a few things here. We've got the 4 lines coming across, which everything is quick connect. You just squeeze the 2 tabs together and off it comes. So you have the fuel line output coming out of the top of your filter. Your filter has the regulator, a relief valve, all that stuff built right into it. So you have 3 lines. You have a male that comes across. You have a female. You have another female. And then we have a big clip thing that goes in the bottom of the filter, which you actually go from underneath, and you want to pry on this little tab here as you retract the big piece back. So you're probably wondering, oh well, how do you do that and not get them confused if you just take it all apart? Well, the female connection that goes on the upper part of the unit, this being the lower part, this is a 90-degree connection. So as you can see, here's the new unit, 90-degree straight connection, your male, and then this weird thing with that clip that I showed you. So the tricky part is getting this line across the tank, not breaking off the fuel level gauges or the filter pickup. So you don't have a lot of room to work with. So the first thing we want to do, obviously, is you take both sides apart, get them loose. Then you want to extract the filter first onto your lines, then come over to this side, extract your pump, and extract your lines. And I'll just give you guys a heads up when you're doing this job, that when I tried to pull my lines back across the tank, they got caught up probably 6 or 7 times. It was borderline frustrating, but we got it all apart. Now it's just a matter of putting it back together, which hopefully won't be too bad. So we're going to start with the new pump. Lines across, drop the pump in, get it setting in place, go over here to the other side, fish the pieces out, the lines rather, and then get everything connected to our fuel filter and get that set in place without bending or breaking anything. That's the real key to this job, is just kind of taking your time and trying not to destroy anything. So I'm going to shut the camera off, that way you guys don't hear me cursing and swearing, and I'm going to get this jungle mess shoved across the tank and get my new fuel pump dropped in. I also want to say I got my fuel pump from good old Rock Auto, and this is a Bosch unit that is, you know, supposed to be all tested and good to go, warranted. So fingers crossed. The reason I'm doing this, the car has over 200,000 kilometers on it, and the last going off, it hasn't been quite coming up on its high rev on a cold start. It's a lower rev on a cold start, which I think is because of low fuel pressure. And also the last going off, especially if you watch the video where I raced the Mustang, or the woman did, when we get over 6,000 RPM, we're going into limp mode, and it's giving us low injector pressure codes. So if it's not the fuel pump, it's going to end up being the computer box that controls the fuel pump. But I'm aiming towards the fuel pump more so, where the car has high mileage on it. And I mean, I've put money into this car, so it's not like the fuel pump totally puts you out of pocket. It was like, I think, $450 to the door. So here we go. I'm gonna get this back together, and we'll finish up and wrap up and show you guys the finished product, all back together and the way it should be. Okay, boys and girls, so we got it all back together, and no, it's not totally back together, but what I like to do is I like to leave these covers off, and I like to check for leaks after I've done the job. So, and what I had over here, I didn't quite have this locking ring tight enough at first, and when you start filling the tank, you'll get a pretty nasty gas leak. So luckily it tightened up, doesn't appear to be leaking now. And let me tell you, it was a job to get those lines to come across the tank. It was not easy. Took me probably the better part of 2 hours, so, and the help of the girlfriend, or we wouldn't have been able to get it done. She was able to reach her small arm inside the tank, because there's only a small trap hole in the center of the tank to get the lines through. But we got it all back together. I didn't video it because it was late last night, but we took it out for a test drive, cleared the codes. The codes are gone, no more low injector pressure, and the car seems to be pulling strong, so pretty happy with that. And now I just gotta do the final touches, put the covers back on, the bolts back in them, and put my seat in, hook my heated seat cords up, and it'll be done.